Hey Darker Phoenix, please pardon my voice. I am home from school today, sick. It sucks. I have a sore throat and it feels like there's a tumor or some shit in the back of my mouth every time I swallow. So, excuse the monotone, excuse the swallows. It's a bad day. I saw your video about that guy who posted the comment about life and video games, and maybe not every game is meant to be marathoned, as he put it. But I do have a few points, and I want to address those points about that. I saw your video, I listened to your points, and you kind of didn't really make any, actually. You were going to leave it up to the audience. So here's my opinion on the matter. I think some games have a stigma, and I'm pretty sure I'm using the word stigma in the right context. It's like a image that goes with them, or a stereotype, something like that. And the point is, I think some games are meant to be 100 hours long. And like Skyrim, if they made that game, the whole game, not just the main quest line, but if they made the entire game like 40 hours, it'd be a joke. Agreed, 100%. But that game, I'm about 300 hours in it. And that's a game that's meant to be a 300 hour plus game. Some games, though, we remember back on the Nintendo 64, those weren't, 60-hour games, some of them, stuff like that. The point is, there's a category of games that are long, like your favorite Xenoblade Chronicles, Skyrim, other RPGs, even some superhero games are decently lengthy. But then there's games where the content is superb, but they're shorter. So it's like a short little thrill ride or a short little adventure. You enjoyed every moment of it and it was great, but it left you wanting more. You wanted a lot more out of it, and you thought there should be a lot more in the game. I agree. I think as a game designer, though, if you look at it through their perspective, they're an artist. They're creating something. Some of them create what the viewers want, and some of them know that what they're creating, the viewers are going to want regardless. They're going to want it because of the character, because of the story, because of past games, because of the developer, because it's the first of its kind, or maybe in the case of Call of Duty, or doo-doo as you put it, it's the 16th of its kind. But they're artists at the end of the day. They have a vision for something, and they have a talent to make something, and they make it, and they're happy with it. And very rarely do I hear from a game designer, yeah, there's all this shit that we didn't do, and we really wish we could have done it, but we'll never do it. No, like, if they can do it, even if it's in downloadable content or if they delay the game, it sounds to me like they do what they can. They try to get it as close to what they want it to be as possible. I don't really know what else to say, except that some games like Batman Arkham Origins, I still haven't beaten that game. I have too much stuff going on, and I know that one of your complaints was that it was a very short game, and it was just like Arkham City. Well, Arkham City is one of my favorite games of all time, and Arkham Origins is up there as well. I just got to the part with the Joker, like where the Joker explains and talks about the Batman, and he meets Harley Quinn, and it rocks my world. I mean, I was like, holy cow, the folklore there, like the legend, it's pretty authentic. But yeah, I don't have the time to just sit down and play that game. I don't have 7 hours, so I might play that game, 40 times for 1 hour, or 20 times for 1 hour and get 20 hours out of it. Or, I might play it 40 times for 30 minutes. Or 20 times for, whatever. Cut the time in half, do the math, I don't really care. But Darksiders 2 felt like a really long game. I enjoyed that game, but it also took me a long time to beat. I also try to explore what I can without a strategy guide or the internet, and I try to get the extra stuff. I try to take time to explore every corner and, hey, what's this? So that's my point, is it's like that guy, I think, with the comment, maybe he didn't get it off right. But from what I take of this is that he was trying to point out that some games are meant to be what you want, and some games are meant to be what he wants, and some games are in between. It's just how it is. So to say or to label a game as shitty because it was 12 hours, or that does sound pretty shitty actually, but let's say it was 20 hours instead of 60 or 80 hours, or 40 hours instead of 60 or 80 hours. I think that's a mute point. I don't really think that matters that much. I mean, I spend my money the same way. When I spend my money, I like to get the most out of it in that game. Sometimes I feel like I do. Other times I feel like I don't. Some of the games I've heard you talk about, I do feel like I got my money's worth out of them. I think what it is game designers know, just like Apple knows or Mac, they know that the buyers are going to buy no matter what. Nothing's going to stop them from buying. An iPad or whatever can be, look at Sony. Look at Microsoft, the Xbox One and the PS4. $600? People are going to rush right out and buy that shit for $600, knowing that it will have issues, knowing that it hasn't been tested that well, that, they're getting one of the first gen models and some crap's probably going to happen. Or in a year and a half, an awesome model, a slimmer model, a smaller model will be released, and they'll have a warranty, and they'll have that old shitty model with no warranty. But that doesn't stop them from buying these things. They're still going to spend $600 on it. So I admit the game industry, I think, is playing a little bit of a game with us. They're just putting shit out there knowing that we're going to buy it, and they're not trying that hard. Yes, I want to acknowledge that point. Alright? I want to take that time. But at the same time, we got to give them some slack sometimes where it's due, because it is their piece of art. It's what they wanted to offer. And even though, just like when we go see a movie, we think, oh, they should have added this, they should have added that. It should have been much longer, it should have been much shorter, blah, blah, blah. That's our opinion. At the end of the day, though, the movie was made in their image, in the director's image, in the staff or the producer's image, or in the case of video games, in all their images. So just try to keep that in mind, and I hope that was a pretty good neutral point on the matter here. I agree with your side, but I can also see that person's side too about life and how you might only be able to play it for 30 minutes. The story might be 40 hours, but if you're only able to play it for 30 minutes, that's a long time to sit down and enjoy a game. All right, Darker Phoenix, you take care, man. I hope I feel better and can ditch this sore throat. Have a good one.